Oh, we're
Come
here.
sta, Jeff.
Oh, sorry.
Come sta.
I was just doing FaceTime with somebody.
Oh, okay. All right. Do you, as they say.
Yeah.
So welcome back to Where the Dogs of Society Howl. We got a great guest. We were having so much fun backstage, if you will, chatting. And I was saying that the word moist came up quite a bit. So we'll see where that goes. I hope everyone has
seems to come up.
have your drink of choice ready, yes. And we'll do a shot every time the word moisture or moist comes up in this show. And if we have to, we'll change gears if we find another word. Last week, what was the word of the week last week, Jeff?
I can't remember.
You not remember?
No.
Okay.
We were talking about sharks.
It was data or data.
Oh, yes, data. Like we brought up. That's right.
We must have said data and data 150,000 times.
Data.
By the end of the show, I was wrecked.
It was Russ, right?
Just wrecked. Yeah, it was Russ Abstein. Right? That's the name. I always think of Appleton when I hear his name. I think of that software, Appleton.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense either.
You know, it's May 21st today. And
May the 21st be with you.
Know this, but in 1832, the first U.S. Democratic National Convention was held in Baltimore.
Oh,
isn't that fascinating?
It's insane, Jeff. The world is on fire.
But enough of that. I'd like to just do a quick shout out.
Yeah, please.
To somebody. So I want to. This is from Bill Anderson. This is his brand, Bulldog Barbecue. Not a sponsor. They're just random. I want you to try these things.
Oh, make sure you thank him for sending me none.
Nah, I told him not to send them to you. So, but I'm interested in this because it's the type of barbecue sauce that is it's not thick. You know what I mean? It's more like for dipping, like after you've seasoned and grilled, and then you dip it. That to me.
Okay. Somebody recommended Kinder. Was it Kinder's?
Yeah, Kinder.
And I did get a bottle of it, and it's pretty good. I still don't believe I have truly found my barbecue sauce yet. So for anybody out there with barbecue sauce suggestions, I'll take them. If there's anybody that wants to send me a sample, I'll take that too.
Of course.
What else? So yeah. Well, welcome back, everybody. It's going to be a ball today.
What happened? What happened?
I don't know. I think I was on the wrong side. You started talking, and I was like, why is he saying the same exact thing again?
Oh, you know what it is? You got caught. That's like the Matrix or something.
I have the actual live running on another
window.
And I was like, why is Jeff repeating that story?
You're like a time traveler.
It's like he's lost his mind. Anyway, that's what LinkedIn Live's all about. And we're not editing a damn thing. And that's what I love about this. If you say it, you're going to own it. If it brings the ship down, well, handcuff yourself to the rail because you're going with it. All right. So nice. Great program today. We're going to talk about a lot of different things, but the title of the show was appropriately CPG growth and the exit that nobody posts about. Because when I first met our guest, we talked about a bunch of stuff, but one of the things she was telling me was about an exit that, was not the, 8-10-figure exit that everyone's always, pontificating about. Hers was a very real story, a very heartfelt story, and a very, an authentic, more times than not, that's the case kind of story. So we'll dig into that, but we're also going to talk about some of the other things that she's doing. She's a brand builder. She knows all about CPG growth and operations. She's got true founder energy, I would say. Yeah. And that is pretty much where it starts and stops, though, right? Any other thoughts before we bring her on in, Jeff?
Oh no, let's get her.
All right. Well, today's guest is Alison Cayne. She founded Haven's Kitchen, growing it from a Manhattan cooking school into a CPG brand, carried in 5,000 plus stores, including Whole Foods, Sprouts, and Target. She's also an author. She's a podcast host. I think it's called In the Sauce. She is a lecturer at NYU and Columbia. Founder of a brand called, and if I'm butchering it, she'll let me know, Choulie. She's the mother of 5, which is a whole other skill set, of course. And she has a terrible sense of direction. We're going to talk about that. So without further ado, make some noise for Alison Cayne.
Here she is.
There she is.
Hey, welcome.
I've just been giggling for like the last 6 minutes watching the two of you. This has been a joy. Thank you for having me.
Oh,
well,
awesome.
You're welcome. I hope it's equal parts enjoyable and alarming.
Yes. You got Choulie right. You got Choulie right.
Choulie.
Yeah. I feel like I can be the guest who brings together data and moisture. And I feel really good about that, you know?
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, there's nothing like a good set of moist data.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yep.
Gets the boardroom all lit up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the boss is
today?
like, say it, don't spray it. That's what it's like, right?
How are you today?
I'm having a great day.
Yeah.
I have a new puppy who is, it's like living in someone's social media reel where like it's a shoe, it's the toilet paper. He looks at me like, oh, you know, he likes to play How Strong Is George. We do that a lot. He's just a, if you haven't played How Strong Is George,
I haven't.
I feel like it's fairly self-explanatory. It's me and George.
Okay,
and
George.
I say, how strong is George? So strong.
George is the dog.
George is the dog.
I
see. And so
Double
that
check.
keeps you pretty happy. I'm feeling good about, you know, I think I got someone a job earlier, which is it's like my favorite thing to do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm feeling good today.
Good deal.
Nice.
Well, we're glad you're here.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, what kind of puppy is George, by the way?
He is an absurd puppy. He's called a double doodle. So he's
double.
Yeah, no, he's like actually all these people are like, I rescued him. I'm like, I did not. I fully breeded him at a bougie breeder in North Carolina. Yeah, I'm like, this is 16 years of your life. There's no room for like, he can't be around other people and he hates dogs and we need to give him Prozac. So I got a super bougie dog. He is half mini golden doodle and half mini labradoodle.
Wow.
So he's like the doodle of doodles.
The doodle of doodles. The doodle of doodles. That's the other
Doodah.
show today.
Yeah. He's absurd.
Superb. Jeff, and if there's any questions, I don't want to duck over to the other page and lose myself yet again. Let's get some people's comments and questions up on the screen. Try not to get too distracted by that, Allison.
Oh my gosh.
Occasionally be popping in.
Found everything.
Rob's reminding me that I'm old. That's what he's saying. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
That's nice, Rob. Yeah.
Yeah,
come on,
Bobby
Rob.
Buckets always coming through with the
always coming in
save.
Yeah,
Bobby Buckets, he's full of moist data.
You look great to me, Jeff.
You do, Jeff. You look 49.
Oh, that's
if you're a day.
Such a compliment. I appreciate that.
Oh, so hey, we'll get started. I don't know that it's the beginning, but. Let's talk about the original vision you had. Talk a little bit about Haven's Kitchen, and then let's get into sort of your original vision for that.
Yes. Okay. So I mean, how far back should I go? I'm going to try to do it concisely, but I do think context is important. So 72. Born in 72.
Okay,
no, I graduated from college in 94. I was into urban planning. I had a really fun job working for this like city-state partnership. Promptly got married and had 5 children in 8 years. Took myself out of the like work away from home force. went back to school to get a master's in food studies, which is a cross between culture, anthropology, food systems, food policy, culinary, everything. It was the most fun. Very much so. Started working at the Green Market in Union Square, teaching education to all of the school tours. In tandem, had been teaching cooking to people since college, and then decided in 2012 to open a cooking school. It was a learn how to cook, not how to follow recipes. It wasn't like we're French or we're Italian. It was globally inspired, market sort of driven cooking school. It ended up being a phenomenal business. Much to my surprise, it was very profitable very quickly. We did a ton of private events. We did a ton of brand activations. Obviously, we were teaching cooking all day, every day. We had a cafe. I wrote a cookbook, as you mentioned. And as one did in 2017, we started thinking about this thing called scale. That could be the word today. And I'd rather scale than moisture, frankly, but like I'm just gonna like touch on that. We can get there when we get there. But and so I have this brand. I was on a cultural nerve of some sort. The business was going great. Whole Foods and Fresh Direct were asking me to make products to some extent. I didn't want to sell another granola or cookie. And our students kept saying, thank you for teaching us how to grill chicken and roast carrots, but the sauce, it's a lot of ingredients and it's a lot of work, and I don't want to chop or roast or blend or balance acid and salt. It's so much of the thing. And I was like, all right, well, like we'll make you some sauce and you can buy them before you leave the class. And then, I got into everyone is building this thing called consumer packaged goods. And maybe that's how this thing grows, because I didn't want a second location. And I wasn't going to be like virtual cooking classes because I'm a Luddite, as we've discussed. So we went to the Fancy Food Show in 2017 with packets of, pouches of pesto, ginger miso, a Thai peanut sauce, and a red pepper romesco. They sold like gangbusters in New York. Then we expanded to the region. Then we went global with Whole Foods. The year that we went national with Whole Foods was the year that the cooking school closed in 2020 because of COVID. So now I had a CPG business as opposed to a brick and mortar business with a product. And it went really well. It was growing. I think we did a really good job on a lot of things. And things sort of shifted around us. I think in another era, I probably would have been able to raise more money and done more pivoting. I think we ultimately had a natural channel brand, which I think a lot of people make the mistake of thinking is also going to be fine and conventional and mass. And alas, it is not. That's what the data says. And so rather than, taking like a somewhat crappy sale, which wasn't going to be great for my shareholders or me or the legacy of the brand, I decided to wind it down before I went into my next big production. And that was a year and almost a half ago.
Okay. Yeah, that all tracks for sure. And I love that you threw in data and moisture. And,
absolutely.
And then you if we're going to use the word scaling, and scales, we can always throw moisture back into it.
Exactly. Exactly. A little bit of yin yang. Yeah.
I know that Gavin does not want to hear about the skincare routine, but
no,
it's okay because
we might need to talk about it.
Does
your audience skew predominantly male?
No, it varies.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say it tends to. We try not to.
I'm sure you're not alienating women.
No, not trying not to do that either.
No.
Yeah. That's just never good for anyone.
No, that's
Plus, I honestly, I always want to be around women anyways. I just they're I don't know.
We're moist.
Oh, jeez, you went there.
I guess it depends.
Sorry.
So careful.
You teed it up. And
I know.
It was right there.
There's always someone testing the boundaries.
Sorry, everybody. Yeah, I know. I'm a serious person. I am. I teach at an Ivy League institution, for God's sake.
Right.
Yeah. John Bon Jovi played in front of 1 million people and rocked them all, while I played in front of, maybe 110 people. Made them all moist,
Right.
Yes.
All right.
But at least you got intimacy over scale.
That's true.
That's right. Oh my!
It meant a lot to those 100 people.
How did we get there?
I don't know.
But Jeff, why don't you take us somewhere else real quick? Take the next.
Rob was asking a question.
Rob,
dumb question, no less.
Well, yeah, he doesn't need
to put a certification for running a cooking shop.
Well, a shop where you're selling equipment. No, I mean, you should have some, knowledge. But if you're running a cooking school, it's always good to have your food handler certificate. And obviously there's inspections by we have a health department here, similar to restaurants that inspect us all the time. I didn't need to have a, culinary degree to open the school. In fact, one of, I think, my assets was that I was constantly translating technique and sort of chef concepts into, but what is this going to do for the home cook? I need to get food on the table for the kids. I need to plan my week ahead. I don't want that ingredient that's in the New York Times that I'm going to use one time in the next 16 years that I have to mail order for and run to whatever, my friend who can get it at Callistians. So yes, you should probably have a food handler certificate so that you can work in the store or the school, but you don't need to have any sort of an external validation.
Imagine if I were to tell you I'm an uncertified flying teacher, uncertified pilot, want to go for a ride.
That's different.
Maybe not,
Yeah. And we had classes that were very, very sort of professional hardcore that real chefs taught. And then we had, making certain things that I was really good at because it was more about, going to the farmer's market and understanding how to roast and understanding timing of things, prepping for Thanksgiving. A chef is not as good at prepping for Thanksgiving with 20 people and 17 courses as I am. Just going to throw that out there.
Yeah, no, and Rob is saying that his wife may even dip into that zone. So,
yes.
And I know that
tell her to reach out to me, Rob.
Correct me if I'm wrong too. It varies per state, what the rules are. I know. My wife was doing a cake decorating business from home, and it varies from what state you're in on whether or not your kitchen can be used for that.
Well, I will tell you one thing. When we started making the sauces, we learned quickly that they were under two different, one is Department of Agriculture in New York and one is FDA. So we learned very quickly that we could not actually, unless we got separate certification, produce this sauces for consumption to be sold outside of the school.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So we had to get an incubator kitchen that was, Department of Ag. Or whatever.
So you're saying, in a sense, I couldn't just start a ketchup company by, I make it in the toilet in the downstairs bathroom.
But you would be surprised for as crazy as we are about the way that we talk about food. You'd be surprised what makes its way onto shelves that I would personally not eat.
I did work with a brand many moons ago, one of my very first clients. And at the time I was still incredibly dense, and I mean, still am, but far denser.
Denser.
I remember it was a ketchup company, and I remember they invited us over for like a barbecue one time, and I was like, you know, okay, this is a little weird, but okay, you know, went over and I went in their house to use the bathroom, and the place was just trash, just disturbing. And they were like, "Excuse the bathroom, we're renovating." And I'm like, "How long you been doing that?" "Oh, for like a decade." And I was like, dude, I cannot. I'm like, how am I going to get my family out of here? And like, you're making the product somewhere in this filthy freaking house.
Yeah, that's weird.
But because we're on the topic, and you mentioned something earlier that stuck out for me. When you think about an ingredient in your home that you almost always, it just never goes, you always have it because like you use it. Like to me, it's like usually like bitters. I've got the same bottle of bitters. It's been there for 15 years.
Oh, you mean something that's just sitting there that's never been used, or something that you use all the time?
Always there.
Yeah, and you're like, it's just, I know it's here.
I mean, garlic powder.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I hate that stuff.
I don't use it, but it's just, it's there, and it's probably been there since, you know, I moved.
I know.
Yeah. Probably like a solid block.
That's like my wife's like, do we have Italian seasoning? It's like I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, what is that? Yeah.
Well, if I don't have like oregano, if I have Italian seasoning, I throw that in because I know there's probably oregano in it.
Yes,
like Mrs. Dash or something, right? You know, I don't touch that.
Although I will say, I am going to have a little bit of a non sequitur here, which I know is crazy considering the last 20
because
minutes.
We're so locked in.
You are really tight on your structure, but I never used black pepper. I was like, black pepper was one of those ingredients that I thought people were pretending that they liked, like okra.
Yeah.
Sorry. Like it was to me it was like I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. You're just lying. And then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give this a shot. And just started like, red wine vinegar. Started like cranking black pepper on my steaks with the salt before I threw them on the grill.
Yeah.
And I was like, there is something to this condiment spice that people have been using for literally thousands of years that I sort of eschewed. And now I'm into it. So you're never too old.
I love it. I do. I love it. I don't know where some people land. I used to put the salt and the black pepper on the steak before I cooked it. Now I just do the salt and I hit the black pepper. Like
but it makes like a little crust.
It does.
It does.
Like a little crust. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I always have that like, am I just burning the spices off the damn thing? What am I doing?
A little bit, but that adds to the char.
Yeah. I love the char. I got a big steak, big cheap
You know what the char does, Peter?
Keeps it
moist.
Yeah. I was going to say gives you cancer.
No.
Yeah, there's an upside and a downside to everything, right?
Seals it in.
Yeah. Yes. No, I love that. I think the protein. And Jeff, you're a big fan of beets. Let's just be clear about that.
I am not. It's one of the
very good for you,
food
Jeff.
items that is like kryptonite to me.
They're very, very good for you.
I know that. I don't discourage other people from eating them.
Have you had them roasted and
you know what it is? It's kind of like we talk about the cilantro thing, right?
Oh yeah.
So, for me, it's funny. There's a whole like group of people that are like, yeah, it tastes like dirt. I'm not eating beets, And then there's the other people that are like, oh, I love beets. I could eat them every day.
Right. So do you think it's like, because cilantro, there's like a genetic component to if it tastes like soap. Do you think that is true of beets as well?
It may be because I literally will eat anything. I grew up with like an Eastern European family. We would have like beef tongue when I was like 7 years old. We didn't think anything of it. We ate everything.
Right.
And beets was just like, it was there. And I was like, I'm not touching it.
Yeah. We'll do some research.
I'll tell you, Jeff, and there's I forget his name. Last name's Malman, Francis Malman. Maybe?
Oh yeah.
I have a book of his. I interviewed him years ago, but that's a story for another day. Yeah, it's fabulous. His book called 7 Fires, and it's a cookbook all about the Patagonian methods of outdoor cooking. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so cool. And one of the recipes in it that I'm dying to do, because my youngest loves beets, is like a smashed grilled beet. You cook it a little bit, then you smash it and grill it and add, it's got, red wine vinegar, a little bit of goat cheese, and you serve it with the beet greens. Fascinating.
I mean, I love char. I like anything with char on it.
Right.
Like,
that might
I'm
work
the guy that has the hot dog that's like black with split and everything.
It's the Eastern European in you.
Yeah,
I'm similar.
It
yeah, it's our like Minskian ancestors,
Yeah. Yeah,
I love that.
The old country.
All like root vegetables and meat.
Yeah.
There's nothing green on the plate.
Alison, have you heard of that restaurant Kachka?
Kachka.
It's in Portland, Oregon. Another one that has a great cookbook, but it's all Eastern European cooking.
That is not a cuisine that is knocking people's socks off.
They have made it an art form.
Amazing.
I'm going to send you a link to it after.
I can't wait.
Drop it in the thing. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes or no, you do care deeply about branding, messaging, story, and design?
I was going to say that. Yes, very much. I think if you don't and you're in this business, you should not be in this business.
Okay. Do you think that there is any one, or I mean, I'm sure there's many, but like, where do founders go? What do they get wrong about that? Like, is it the value?
Ooh, what a great question. I think they're just drinking their own Kool-Aid too much. I think they're not looking outside of themselves at a market. Like, I think they're trying to. So I literally was just thinking about this because my new product is actually for me and for my demographic, which is great for me. And it can be because the margins are good and it's a high price point and it doesn't have a shelf life. So it can be that. But if you're building something that's supposed to exist in the grocery store and compete on shelf and potentially scale alongside, the big kid CPG brands, and you're building it for an audience that there just aren't enough people out of to want it, who are willing to pay the extra premium for an emerging brand, then you've gotten it wrong. I think they're probably a little too precious. They probably also try to be too many things to too many people without really finding product market fit first.
Yep.
And they believe their own nonsense too much. And they very few founders on either coast ever spends actual time in Ohio or in Minneapolis or in Nebraska. I mean, and they probably should spend more time there.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I do. I think that there's a problem with them undervaluing those things or over engaging themselves in the process.
Right.
And that was always something I said was, like, it has to be positioned the right way to the right person.
And there have to be enough of those people who are willing to pay for it.
To someone, I didn't design this for you. Right. I don't care if you like it, frankly.
Yes.
Your audience.
But here's the thing.
Love it.
But that's the thing. And your audience, it's okay to have a niche audience if you're building something with margin.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not okay to have a niche audience if you're trying to grow. And the problem with food, and this is just the system that we operate in, is that there are under 20 companies that own 70 to 75% of the supermarket.
Right.
So you have to grow to either compete or be bought. There isn't room really for like small niche brands in the grocery store. Right. They have to go in one direction or the other. They
or
have
if you're
to
just
either,
you could be comfortable with just staying at at a certain level.
And that I would challenge is only if you own some part of your supply chain, if you are also co-manning for other brands, that works for those companies.
Yeah.
But if you're a branded product that works with a co-packer and you're hitching your wagon to, to someone else who ultimately is going to be controlling your production, it's going to be very, very hard. You can do it for a few years, but it's tough.
It's interesting just going back. I had a DM from somebody I connected with, and they're like, "What's the biggest mistake you see companies making online right now?" And one of the things that I answered with was thinking the website was meant for them.
Right.
So that's basically what
really
we're saying
It's
here.
the spotlight effect. Yep.
And that's the simplest way that I could answer him is that I go to so many of these, emerging brands, and it seems like it's all about them. It's not really about the customer.
Right.
And what their needs are.
The good news for me was like, I was so fixated on my consumer. Like the whole thing came from a true desire to help people feel more confident in the kitchen. And they did. My issue was that there just aren't enough of those people who are willing to pay the premium for the quality that I was doing to really find scale. So ultimately, I would have to keep innovating, and I got closer with my shelf stable product, and I was going to get closer with the next one. But at a certain point, you run out of time and money, and if you don't get it right early, like Bachan, for example, you're in a pickle. So I knew enough to know that we hadn't gotten it nailed early.
Yeah, it's interesting. When I first saw your product in Whole Foods, it was at the end of an aisle. It was a small little end of aisle refrigerator case that had like Bubby's pickles in it, or
we were
maybe there was like maybe 8 different brands in there. And so, I mean, for someone like me, I noticed it right away, but I could see like people just walking by it.
I mean, that was another issue. Like even in Whole Foods where, I mean, our velocities were just, I mean, we could sell 36 chimichurris a week. Like we were just cranking. Even at Whole Foods, we were in a few different sets because where does the fresh sauce go? It does it go in hummus? No. Does it go in produce? No. Does it go, so we were in fermented. So we were next to kimchi and Bubby's, and we were the category captain. Shocker. Like people aren't buying 36 Bubby's every week. And,
no, they're not.
So it like we had like a little bit of a our data set wasn't exactly, but we never quite found where we belonged. I wanted us to be in the butcher in some stores. Like when you're buying your steak, buy your chimichurri. When you're buying your salmon, buy your ginger miso.
Where the like not the buffet where they had the prepared foods.
That would have been
right across from there. They have a lot of things like grab and go type of things, but it's also a great place for someone who's a foodie and they're looking to have something to start with. The grilled chicken. To start with.
Yeah. So, I mean, we had a lot of ideas. I think, when it wasn't like I was, completely out to lunch. Like I did my research and every strategic plan, whether it was Kroger or Walmart or, you name it, not just the naturals, but also the conventionals. They were talking about fresh convenience and what's going to keep consumers coming into the physical stores because they saw Amazon in their rearview mirror coming up fast behind them for your everyday staples, right? And so they were like, the future of grocery is people coming in to buy perishables. And at the same time, they want things that make their cooking easier and faster and more global and more delicious and healthier. And so we were very much aligned. And then COVID happened, which basically derailed any sort of infrastructure building new refrigeration, thinking about planogramming in any different way. It was all just like, keep stuff on the shelves, make sure people get their like rice and their hand sanitizer. And so, you couple that with some supply chain stuff for us and a product that took a little bit too much explaining because the other thing that I did, and this goes back to your original question, is I made sauce, which people know sauce, but they don't know refrigerated sauce. Not in 2018 and not in 2020. And they don't know why sauce would be in a pouch instead of in a bottle. And they don't understand what romesco is, or at that point, chimichurri, or like, what do I do with tahini?
Yeah.
So I was trying to do basically like 3 massive behavioral shifts with one product. And that is like, just never. I would never let anyone do that.
That's big. And you keep saying chimichurri, and now I've changed my mind on dinner tonight. I will be adding chimichurri.
He is a chimichurri fan. I can attest.
It's good stuff.
Have you ever had the saffron version of chimichurri?
No.
They mix a saffron in with it. It's like a redder, different vibe.
That's interesting.
But I'm gonna go straight up old school Cat Cora style chimichurri with that tonight.
Nice.
It's crazy. Hey Jeff, before we shift gears on this here, and we're gonna go over to a little bit about the exit that nobody humble brags about. If that's okay with you, we can talk a little bit about that, because I think people should hear that.
Yeah, of course. I love talking about that.
I think they should hear about that. Jeff, do you want to? We have a little. Do we have them this week for LinkedIn?
Yeah, I have a couple of.
All right. Well, you just stay put. Don't go anywhere.
Segment we have.
A little segment where we analyze a few of our most recent weirdo outreach messages.
It's link dick. So it's
the D is silent, Jeff.
Yes. Yeah.
So this one's good. Like, hey, first name.
Oh yeah,
saw you run a podcast at company name.
Oh no.
Oh, sad monkey. We didn't even block him out because I think
I know
he's not a real person anyway. You don't have to feel bad for him.
That's right. It's.
Guys, we've all made the mistake. I know. I sent a DM to someone and it was
like a shame.
Hey, Steven. And it's like, my name's Karen. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. Did you accept though or no?
Oh yeah, we have a meeting this week.
Oh, okay. All right. Excellent.
He's ready to invest.
In time zone, isn't he?
I'm investing in whatever the fuck he's selling, man.
You wrote him a check.
I think you both are going to enjoy the next one though. Here we go. This is what I got in my inbox. A smarter approach to voice evacuation.
Wow, what is that?
And then it says hello first name, of course.
Oh, good. Yeah.
But I am so fixated on what voice evacuation is. I have no idea where to go with that.
I feel like they're trying to say, you know how you evacuate your bowels in a hospital? Like you would evacuate, enunciate.
Elocution? Are they talking about elocution?
Maybe they mean elocution.
There's like speakers in a panel. What's a voice evacuation? Someone help us out there and get on your chat GPT and find out what voice evacuation is.
I think it's a great band name for like an a cappella group.
Right.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're voice evacuation.
Oh boy.
I was in an a cappella group, by the way, all through high school. Yeah.
Were you?
Nice.
I was, yeah. I'm really into that. Yeah.
Oh,
that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Like Pitch Perfect movies are my
jam. Those are great.
Pitch Perfect, yes.
Yeah. What was the other? What was the show?
What's the group that goes?
Oh, the Sing Off. The Sing Off though was what's his name? Who's now the Love Is Blind guy? Nick. Someone.
Oh, Nick Lachey.
Nick Lachey. Go back. Yes. He hosted 12 a cappella groups that would compete.
I remember that.
Yes.
It was the most amazing. It's sort of before Pitch Perfect happened. It was the best show on television. I'm sad at what.
That's funny. I'll give you my Nick Lachey history piece.
I'm really.
I was the guy that introduced Nick Lachey to Jessica Simpson.
No way.
Is that real?
Yeah. Yes, true.
Was that it when you were at Disney?
Yeah, when I was at Disney, they were doing a show in Boston. I was traveling.
How old were they?
MCing. They were young.
Yeah.
But I remember he was just like, I was like, you want to meet her?
Wow.
And, I was like, Nick, this is Jessica. Jessica, this is Nick.
Wow,
He's
that is a
whatever it
big
was.
deal. I feel
Something
like
degrees.
That's crazy.
What was their
Yeah,
band?
they're on a
90
reality
something
show and
degrees,
everything.
98
no clue.
degrees.
No, I don't know.
Dude, I was
Pentatonics is what I was thinking.
Pentatonics was on the show. I saw them before.
Yeah.
That was before they got famous at all.
They're good. Yeah, really good.
I don't even know if they won.
Yeah, I don't think so. You know, and they've had a couple of people change out, but really good stuff. Like I remember the YouTube videos early on were amazing.
There was one that did "You Spin My Head Right Round,
Oh.
Right Round When You Go," and it was all a cappella.
Yes.
This has to happen.
Beatbox in there and yeah, all that stuff. That's great.
Yeah.
Always fascinated by that stuff.
That was yeah. Have you ever seen Paul Rudd and Jimmy Fallon recreate that video?
No, but I
oh my God.
to go
You're
back
going to have to
and
go
watch that
Google it right
now.
after this. You are literally going to die.
I was sort of hit on by Jimmy Fallon as long as we're sharing our cool stories.
Oh, yeah. A
little bit.
I love that. What was he?
Yeah.
What was he?
I was in the audience at the SNL when they do Saturday Night Live, they have the dress rehearsal at like 6:30 and then the live one at 11:30, whatever it is. And the dress rehearsal is really fun because they do everything and then they cut down to the right amount of skits. And they're totally off script and they do cockamamie things and they curse and they're very funny and I enjoy it and it's early and I like to go to bed early. So this was, 20 years ago, maybe, I don't know. Jimmy Fallon was doing Weekend Update and he stopped in the middle of Weekend Update and he pointed at me in the audience and he's like, "What's your name?"
Oh my God.
I literally felt like, that, like, who, me? Like I'm blushing even thinking about it.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
It was great. And then he had like Don Pardo like say my name on the lap, like, as like one of the, like introducing me. And like, it was really, my ex-husband, who was my husband at the time, wasn't thrilled. Yeah, he was next to me and I was like, "Who's that?" Like I've
right. Out of the way.
That's not why we got divorced, but
it
might have been a harbinger. Yeah.
Yeah, the harbinger. I love that.
Or
also going back to the a cappella groups, Oral Intensity.
I feel like you should make a post where you just like think of great names for a cappella.
I'm just saying. No, and it's not even mine. It was from, I think it was from Glee. I had to look it up and I was like,
that was actually right.
Oral Intensity.
It's a good one.
That is a chef's kiss right there.
Yes.
Oh my God. So let's talk a little bit about these the exit that
this non-exit exit.
Can
it be called an exit if you just exit? Like if I just left, like walked out the door, is that still?
That's the Irish exit. Yeah,
we can call it that. No, I want to start off by saying that I had lovely investors. I think that what made this viable for me, A, was that I still owned a big majority of my own company, and B, the investors that had, participated in Havens were great. And I gave them a lot of advance notice and I was very clear. One of the lessons I think that I try to impart to my kids is like, stuff always happens, right? You're going to end up missing a class or something's going to happen and you're not going to be able to turn something in. And if you spend the first 6 weeks of the semester building really goodwill with your teachers and professors and you do your stuff on time, you show up early, you say hello after class, you send interesting articles, like you're tight, then they by the time you need something, you've kind of built up the equity with them that they trust you and they're okay with if you need to miss a class or you hand in something late on week 11. And so, I think it was a two-way relationship. I was a good fiduciary, I think, for these folks. Like I was honest, I was responsive. I I don't think there was ever any question that I did my absolute best, and I did a good job running the company and communicating with them. I lived and breathed for this thing, but I also was a good communicator. And I think that is important for founders with their investors. And so by the time I was like, listen, this is what's happening now. In a year from now, if these 5 things aren't true, we're going to have a hard time raising money. And I'm going to have a hard time having the conviction to go out and raise it. And so I'm going to do everything I can in the next year to make it so those 5 things are true. But I do want you to know that I'm seeing around the corner and that this is where my head's at.
Right.
And 3 out of the 5 things were true. 2 were not. And at that point, I was able to then go say, hey, so here's where we're at. And, if you have suggestions or if you want to, we can recap the business and I can step aside and you can try to find someone to run it. I still very much, the way that I think about business is like there's a brand, there's a product, and there's an actual business, like the margins and the market and and the distribution,
It's the
right?
reality.
Yeah.
And I think we were really strong on brand. I think product was really strong, but probably just natural. And the business was okay. But like all of these, CPG businesses, it needs subsidizing from the outside to really be able to do what it needs to do. And we weren't what investors were looking for in that moment. And I knew that, and I was, it was kind of killing me softly,
Yeah.
So by the time it was,
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what this is the way I was always mentored is these are relationships that you have with the investor. So personal, there's business relationships, but it always comes down to the same thing. It comes down to communication.
Absolutely. That's the founder's role. Like like you said, founder energy. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but my understanding is that there's probably a Venn diagram where some chunk of it is communication skills, right? And your job is to almost be a cult leader to your team, to your co-packer who's taking a chance on some fakakta small brand that they've never heard of, to service providers who you're asking for a discount, to retailers who are going to give you shelf space with no data, to investors, to the world, right? That's your job, is to communicate what is the problem I'm solving? How does this product solve it? Who are you when you use this? And why am I the right person to make it for you?
I have a serious question for you, okay?
Only serious question.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I were to create a CPG brand and called it fakakta, what would it be?
Focaccia. It would be your own. It would be a focaccia baking mix that has different varieties of flavors.
You're so good, so smart.
Thank you. See,
I love
that's the marketing brain in there, right there.
That's founder energy, man.
That's founder energy, right there. Yeah.
I wonder how that would go with Chilk.
Focaccia. I love that.
It might get boycotted because whatever, people are not into my people these days, but whatever. Yiddish is great. Yeah.
What did you learn from that exit that you now carry forth into business today with Choulie or anything else? Is there anything that you were like, look, this was a shitty lesson to learn, but my takeaway is going to be my battering ram as I go forward?
Yeah.
Well, I would say, going back to sort of my 3-legged stool.
Yep.
I learned things from the exit, but I learned obviously a lot of things from 15 years of building a company and seeing it through 2 or 3 different products and places. And on the on the product side, I feel like I've always had a, fucking awesome product. Like high integrity, high quality product. Does that always work in food CPG? Not so sure. Did it very much work in a brick and mortar experience? Absolutely. Can it work in a sort of a luxury direct to consumer product? Very much so. So I feel like there's I will never ever, and there were people who were very much like, listen, if you take your sauces out of the pouches and put them into plastic squeezy bottles, you will gain 10 points of margin. And I didn't do it because I don't want to put my stuff in a plastic squeezy bottle, not because I'm judging anybody who does, but because I know about the, environmental life cycle of a plastic squeezy bottle, and it's not for me. And so, that was a hard no. And so product, I think I learned, you're right on product. I have a good picker on integrity product, what ingredients are going to work, where to spend more, where to not necessarily lean into like too much preciousness. So
and that's an art. Yeah. That's an art.
I mean, you could arguably say that I was like a little bit ahead of my time with both things. In one case, the market kind of grew into me, and the other one, it didn't quite yet, but maybe it would. In this case, I'm feeling pretty good about my product. Like I feel like I'm right on. So that's good. Brand, going back to your comment about positioning, I think you have to be very, 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 very clear on what you are and who you're for. And you cannot stray, and all of your messaging has to ladder into this thing. We got a lot of credit because it was clear who we were. It was clear that this brand had an origin story, that it wasn't like three dudes finding white space. Like I am teaching people cooking. I was teaching we had a 50,000 person email list, and once a quarter I gave like Zoom cooking classes to anybody who wanted to take them. Like they knew that it was real. So we got credit, I think, for earnestness and authenticity, but I don't think we were very clear on who the brand was for and what it was supposed to do for you. And I thought it was clear, but I don't necessarily know that it was. And that's wrapped up also in product.
I think that's the place that most founders do find themselves in, is that they don't see that there's no fog, there's no non-clarity here. I completely understand.
Right.
But like it's because you've been in it, and we go through this all the time. I say, Jeff, I wrote this thing. I think it's sharp as heck, and this is that, the other thing. And then,
he's like, this means nothing.
We look at it and we go, wait, I don't even understand what you're saying. And I go, oh, I'm having the rest of this conversation in my head.
Totally.
And nobody else is.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's guilty of that.
Everybody. And I think that's the part where you can get tripped up for sure. And there's the other side where people don't want to let anybody on the outside in see their dirty laundry. But like, it's not about, shaming or dirty. It's just about clarifying and straightening things out so that
exactly.
Gosh, wholesalers need to understand your product.
It's alignment.
Same with the sellers, same with everybody. And the people that buy it in a store, they need to be able to.
And everything needs to almost just, it's like a stump speech. It's just repeat. It's boring to us, but it's the same over and over.
It's like when someone goes to a concert of their favorite band, and the band's like, we've played this a million times, but it's not for us. It's for them.
Right. And the audience gets like angry when they try to play their new stuff.
Great example,
it's
Jeff.
Like, right. Yeah.
But
then
like
I would say,
it's something that kills a brand or a sales team immediately is just make it your own. Don't make it your own.
Right.
This is the script. Use the script.
Right.
Over
and over. Yeah.
And
I think a lot of founders, to your point, myself very much included, over innovate. Like
Right.
We're like, and now this flavor, and now this form factor, and I want to be in this thing, and I want to have this campaign, and it's too much.
Right.
But I do want to say the third piece is where I think I really, really learned, because the other things I was pretty strong on, better now, but don't hire too fast. Don't, I want I keep saying margin, but like margin. Distribution, like it's, yes, direct to consumer is a whole other host of issues and where you're going to like spend your money to acquire consumers. But, it's manageable in a much more concise way than having, I don't know, you have 700 targets and you have 15 DCs that you either are trucking to or they're picking up.
Yeah.
And that's just a lot. So for me, I've been really into Claude for Excel. And I've made myself like an alley go, no go sheet, just by talking to Claude. And I'm like, this, like, until X is true, I cannot make my first full-time hire. Until Y is true, I cannot consider any sort of distribution in retailers or working with whatever. Until Z is true, like, and I've made those things for myself because, as it always goes, when you're in it and you're like, no, I don't think we're ready for Target, but Target wants you. You're like, well, okay, maybe it'll work, and I can just. But it doesn't,
Right.
No one's ever happily surprised when the velocity's there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So as we have to start winding ourselves down here, unfortunately, we could talk to you all damn day.
Yes. Melissa did have a question though.
You host a podcast called In the Sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Have I made my sauces in bulk food service? No. And I would say that is also something that I think is I don't want to say a mistake, because in some cases, like I just talked to Jesse and Ben about their fries, like food service was a nice way to keep the cash going. But for us, we would have had to come up with a completely different packaging system, a different sales team. We would not have been building the brand. We would have just been building volume, which is okay if it doesn't sort of interfere with the other stuff. So it was not a priority. And I think that was probably a good call on my end.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. And where can we find out more about Choulie?
Well, right now we just have a landing page.
Okay.
It is basically like fine fragrance. I worked on these fragrances with a nose, if you know what that is, like a real perfumer.
Yeah.
A lot of really fun overlaps with recipe testing and making scent. So that was great. And so 5 really beautiful fragrances, but instead of being like in an alcohol, eau de toilette, or perfume, they're in a body oil that also has like active ingredients for women of a certain age who might be experience some lack of moisture.
Circle.
Yes, not on their skin, on their skin. Yes, so it's a body oil.
Perimenopausal women.
I mean, all sorts of women. Everyone needs to be moist. I mean, my fiance wears it on him. Yeah. It's like neck and shoulders and skin. It smells great on him too. So it's a really, really fun brand to work on. We don't actually launch product to sell until the fall. So right now it's just people are getting emails, and I have a Substack, because I like to write. And
tell us how to follow you there. What's your Substack handle?
It's called Choulie Letters. Choulie, CHOULIE, letters, like letters. Dear you.
Okay. Yes. I love it. And we can check out In the Sauce podcast radio show, wherever great podcasts are hosted.
Wherever you get your pods.
I love that. Before we go, I have have you ever read the book Parfum by Patrick Suskind?
I don't think I have that one.
Find that one. It is a murder mystery. It takes place in the I believe the 1700s. France.
Wow.
Oh, wait, I know about this, and it's very dark.
It is, but it's so good.
Yeah.
He's like a serial killer that hunts
and
by
the musk
scent.
of the people.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he's making like the ultimate perfume.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Scent is rad. The history of scent, I mean, some of this stuff is intense. So,
it's crazy. It's crazy.
So,
it's
right.
mother effing crazy. Well, I know you've got to get back to those 5 kids and figure out what direction you're going in next.
And the puppy too.
Yeah, right? And
George.
I got to go get my daughter in a few minutes, and my puppy, maybe Libby Mae Brown.
That's no puppy.
So it's a full lid today. I can't thank you enough for coming on with us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Super fun.
Thank you so much.
And anybody that missed it, you can go check it out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. It'll be on the Brandartica YouTube channel, I believe.
Yes.
And yeah, that's that. So, Alison, if you'll just hang on 1 second, we'll let everybody else go. Everybody file out. Single file, please. No rushing.
Exit signs.
There's no need to push everyone. There's no need.
I mean, honest to God, for the 100th time, we're not validating parking. Okay.
No.
We're not doing that. It's expensive. It's ridiculous.
I don't even